Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Reserved Investments. And we start this video with a question. Would you pay more than $268,000 for this card that is right in front of you? This is a Topps 1977 Star Wars #1 Luke Skywalker trading card, graded by PSA in PSA 10 condition. Before you answer, you should know there are 9 of these in existence at the coveted PSA 10 condition level. And there are close to 5,000 of these in existence that were graded by PSA alone. So this really isn't a very rare card when we compare it to cards that make up the sports card market, more specifically the antique and vintage baseball card market. This card really isn't all that rare and scarce. Now, I know that some people are going to disagree with my analysis. They're going to say, well, wait a minute, Sean. If PSA graded almost 5,000 of these and only 9 are in PSA 10 condition, don't you think that makes it just a little bit up there on the rarity scale? Where I have to say yes and no. I mean, it is scarce, but it's not like it's the only one in existence. That's what I want to make very clear here. And also, if you are going to invest in a card like this, keep in mind, you don't have to buy it in PSA 10 condition. You can get it in PSA 9. You can get it in PSA 8. You can buy an ungraded example for that matter if you just want to own it. Now, where I'm going with this is it gets even trickier when we look at the price history of this card over the years. Because if we get my DeLorean time machine and we go back to 2010, that was 15 years ago. Yes, I know, a lot of things have changed in 15 years. This card sold for $957.52 at auction back in 2010. Now, I know that some of you are going to scoff at that and you're going to go, well, Sean, that's 15 years ago. You got to give me a more recent sale. Okay, how about in 2015? When one of these in PSA 10 condition sold for only $311 with no fanfare. Believe it or not, back in 2015, people were not speculating on trading cards like they are today, especially graded trading cards. So there wasn't as much demand or interest in items like this because there wasn't interest in the trading card hobby by and large, to the point where we have people paying small to large premiums for graded cards. Now, obviously, if we're talking about a PSA 10, people are paying substantial premiums to get those cards, especially in the year 2025. This is where we find ourselves in this massive speculative frenzy that we are in. Now, incidentally enough, in 2018, one of these PSA 10 Luke Skywalker cards sold, and this is where it starts trending up a bit. The sale in 2018 ended at $6,877. So right there, in an 8-year time frame, from 2010 to 2018, we went from a little under $1,000 all the way up close to $7,000. Then in 2019, there were 2 sales of this card, and the one dipped. The one sold for $4,297. Meanwhile, another one sold for $7,388.55. Then in 2020, now this is where it gets good, because this is where we're starting to hit the pandemic. If you guys recall, if you live in the United States, March 2020 was when the government started shutting everything down. So this is where, when they announced the stimulus plans, literally within a couple of months, you guys would have got your first stimulus checks, or if you got PPP loans, that was placed on the table almost immediately. So in 2020, we had one of these cards sell for $7,000. Then in 2021, with the pandemic in full swing, this card shot up to over $55,000. And again, in 2023, now it's on an uptick. Now it sold for $63,000. And then again, in late 2023, for $78,000. Now, there are no sales reported in 2024. But this kind of took the world by storm when in October 2025, after having no sales for almost 2 years, this card comes up for bid in Heritage Auctions, and it shoots to $268,000. This is insane. Now, this kind of ties in to what I've been discussing on this channel as to how speculative and how volatile the trading card market is at present time. And lo and behold, I stumbled upon an excellent post from somebody in the business that seems to agree with my analysis. I don't know if you guys know who Jason Mashura is. He's actually the president of the Upper Deck Trading Card Company, and please forgive me if I butchered his last name. I'm horrible with names. You guys know this. His name again is Jason Mashura. Well, he put out a post that's making its rounds on all the social media platforms, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever your favorite social media conglomerate is, you're probably coming across this post if you're involved in any significant manner with collectible trading cards. Now, I am going to read this post verbatim, and we're going to dissect it because it kind of ties in with a lot of the warnings that I've been putting out on this channel just about how speculative and how volatile these markets really are. So this is in Jason's own words. And again, he is president of the Upper Deck Trading Card Company. Here we go. Everything speculative is up right now. The stock market, Bitcoin, trading cards, and it's pricing some collectors out. Here's what the data shows. 50% of consumer spending in the U.S. is coming from 10% of the population. Rich people are carrying the market, not just in cards, but across every category. Concert tickets, $1,000 for nosebleeds. Luxury goods, selling faster than ever. High-end collectibles, moving at record prices. When boxes cost $1,000 or more, you're not buying for fun anymore. You're speculating. You're betting that what you buy today will be worth significantly more tomorrow. And it works until it doesn't. Sports cards have always had speculation built in. You collect a rookie card hoping that they become a Hall of Famer. But what's happening now is different in scale. And when markets become this speculative, they become fragile. I'm not saying the sky is falling. I'm saying we need to be honest about what's happening. This isn't sustainable growth driven by collectors who love the hobby. This is wealth concentration driving prices that most people can't participate in. And if that money suddenly moves elsewhere to bet on something else, we will all feel it. This is what I'm warning you guys about. Do you guys really think a card like this, that really nobody cared about until the last few years, should be selling for over $268,000? Now, I know what you're going to say. Well, Sean, easiest way to prove this theory is let's see if one of these comes up for bid, what it goes for. If it goes for more than $268,000, obviously we're not at the peak of the market yet, meaning it's still room for something like this to grow. And honestly, if that happens, we are all in serious trouble, because this is what I want to leave you with. What happens if we enter an economic downturn? What happens if the economy takes a turn for the worst? We have Timmy's, Kimmy's, and Poindexters out there that are putting all their money in trading cards, all their money in speculative assets with no underlying cash flows. Is it really the government's job to bail out those individuals that have made bad business and financial decisions? Are we really in this place where now we have people that are speculating on speculative assets, and if it doesn't work out, they're going to be left completely wiped out, completely underwater? There's a lot of people I talk to that are operating in these markets that are 100% leveraged. I mean, it's insane to me that people are taking an Amex card and buying Pokemon cards with it because they think Pokemon cards always go up in value. Look at the graph, Sean. Line goes up. And this has always been my question. And Jason here asked the question perfectly. What happens when it doesn't work anymore? This is why a lot of you have got to take a step back and see these markets for what they are. If you guys start doing price research like I did here on this Topps Star Wars card, you guys can do this on almost every other card out there if you have access to any of the platforms that allow you to look up the price history of these items. You're going to see that it's not consistent growth. It's a very volatile market that is highly speculative. I'm going to end the video that way because I'm really not feeling well. I'm still suffering from my head cold. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I will see you in another upcoming video. Thank you for watching.